All right, Deshaun Watson, there's rumors going out there that he wants out of Houston. Now, if you didn't see my video yesterday, it was a situation where he reacted to them hiring Nick Caserio, another New England Patriot guy, as a GM, and he basically said, he had enough. He said, are you for real? But let's talk about it. Check out the NFL playlist out. Share the videos, and we already did a prediction into being the cards for Wild Card Weekend. And don't forget, they did add an additional team to the playoffs in each conference, and to make up the COVID revenue, they're going to add a week 18 next year. So it's going to be a 17th game next year. And if you didn't know, the NBA is trying to add 2 expansion teams to basically supplement not having fans in the stands. So they asked for the 2 teams to pay $2.5 billion to be a part of the NBA, and people assume it's going to be Seattle and Las Vegas. So these leagues are getting creative without the ticket revenue. And at the end of the day, fans in the stands matter. That's what people got to understand. We matter. And if they don't respect us, we know what to do, not to come to the games. Rather watch them on TV. And, some of these ballparks and stadiums and arenas run up the prices so much. It'd be $10 for a hot dog. That's not fair. I'd rather just eat before I get there. And if I'm hungry after the game, we go to the bar, eat, or whatever situation to kick it. But with Deshaun Watson, if he went out of Houston, he don't want to go to a situation that's like Houston again, to be honest. But, you just look at the situations around the National Football League. And one of the situations that worked for me is, if it's true, even though Chris Greer, the general manager of the Miami Dolphins, denied it, that they want to get rid of Tua, that makes sense. Tua and the number 3 pick they got this year from Houston, send their number 3 back pick to him for Deshaun Watson, and maybe a next year second. It depends on how much money, Houston Texans got eating dead money. But Mike Tannenbaum, he talked about a situation that can happen for Carson Wentz to get out without Philadelphia eating all that money. So pretty sure Houston can do it as well too. So the way I'm looking at it, Miami probably the number 1 destination. Okay, they probably need to add some weapons, but to be honest, they can send Houston 3rd pick back to them, and they can pull in Deshaun Watson, and that's the one that make the most sense to me. He still would be in the AFC. He'd be in a good city in Miami, leaving a great city in Houston. And I think it'll work that way. But just looking at his situation currently in Houston, payroll is terrible. They're bringing another Patriot guy, and they shown historically that they don't work in the front office. And most times they don't work as a head coach. So he got every right to be mad. But then again, why did you sign the contract that you signed it with Houston? But what is he going to do? Hold out? This ain't the NBA. In the NBA, you say, trade me, trade me, trade me. They trade you. In the NFL, you say, trade me, trade me, trade me. They're like, if you want to retire, retire. You want to sit out, sit out. And that's just the way it's going. So it depends. He go to ownership and say, you know what? I want out, but we know Bob McNair, who passed away, we already know what they about. They racist. So they're going to let the black quarterback leave Houston unless Deshaun Watson willing to do the Carson Palmer. They sit out for years, and Carson Palmer sat out like that because he didn't like the owner of Mike Brown. And years later, when the Raiders came to trade for him, Mike Brown only let him go then. Look what Mike Brown did to H.A. Green. Wasted his whole prime. Wanted to leave Cincinnati. And at this point, football and the players in the next negotiations, that's probably for years, need to negotiate no more franchise tags. No. Or start putting in your contract, take less money now and say, oh, nope, I want to get franchise tag. I'll give $2 or $3, $4 million back of my contract money. I don't want to get franchise. I want to be free. And more players need to start doing that. Especially those first round picks. Start shining shorter deals. You go to a team that you don't like. All right, I only want 3 years. Take the 2-year money back. You can have it. It's a risk. But if you land in a situation that you like, you're like, oh, I can't wait to go to San Diego or LA. Then sign a deal. But then I think people need to start putting the franchise thing in their contract. Like, no, you can't franchise tag me. I'll get back my signing bonus. I have my signing bonus. I don't want to be franchise tagging Deshaun Watson. He's just sick of it. And then again, the way he played football, he's not going to last long anyway. They tried to fix the offensive line and trade for Larry Tunsil. That trade was terrible. They don't have a pick this year. You was bad. You don't have a pick to show for it. The salary crack is bad. That's why they couldn't bring back DeAndre Hopkins. So you're in a situation with Deshaun Watson. You know you're not going to win. Defense not going to be good enough. They're not going to draft good enough. So you want out. But you should have thought about that when you signed that deal. You know you didn't like Bill O'Brien. But he probably thinking the previous year we made it to the AFC Championship game. And it didn't work that way. And people said, well, Hopkins, they shouldn't trade Hopkins, but they didn't have the money. So how can I give you some money that I don't have? And go into luxury tax? So he had to trade him. He should have traded him for more. But then again, who did they have a receiver to replace? They should have took Arizona first round draft pick. Fuck David Johnson. Should have took the first. Because we knew we didn't have a first this year. Miami have our first. So, I mean, he probably going to be stuck in Houston. I ain't going to trade him. The McNairs, absolutely not. So you're going around looking at teams that could work. If they wanted to trade Deshaun Watson and send him to a worse situation, because he don't have no control because he's under contract, send him to the New York Jets. Take the number 2 pick. Take Sam Darnold. Or take the number 2 pick and take some more picks and do that. You know what I'm saying? If y'all like Sam Darnold in Houston, take Sam Darnold and do it that way. Just take the number 2 pick. You know, maybe you sell Jacksonville, Deshaun Watson for the number 1 pick and a second round draft pick, or Gardner Minshew to be the backup or something of that nature. Maybe do it that way. But just looking at teams that make sense, look at the AFC. Minnesota might make sense. Not sure if they got a draft pick, but Minnesota, they need a quarterback. They got a quarterback to give. If I'm Minnesota, I'll give up half my picks this year to bring in Watson. I think Minnesota work. I think Chicago is a destination. If they truly are done with Khalil Mack, you heard rumors about them trading Khalil Mack this year. You take Khalil Mack, you take your first round pick, maybe your second, and you trade to Houston, you know, for Deshaun Watson. I'm pretty sure Houston gonna want a high draft pick or be there, or a quarterback to replace Deshaun Watson. So I don't think Chicago got it. You look at New Orleans. You know what I'm saying? Drew Brees is supposed to be retiring this year. You know, do you have the capital to do it? Do you want to get rid of Michael Thomas and you'll pick this year, next year, and bring in Deshaun Watson? Maybe it worked. But then again, like I said before, Houston going to want a quarterback in return. Carolina, they're looking for a quarterback, but that would be a backwards move for Deshaun Watson. I think they got more weapons over there, but no. But that could be a team. Maybe the Dallas Cowboys. They may be in a situation where they can franchise tag Dak. You know, they can send Dak over there and some picks over there. I think the Cowboys, the Eagles, maybe you say you're done with Deshaun Watson. You're done with Carson Wentz. You trade him and do that thing Matt Tannenbaugh did. Y'all don't really lose no money. Trade Jalen Hurts and some picks over there for Deshaun Watson. The New York Giants, you know, they might have a nice pick. Trade Daniel Jones over there for Deshaun Watson. There's a lot of teams that can use them. The Rams is another team. You know, if they can get rid of Jared Goff or send Jared Goff over there and some picks. I'm not pretty sure who they want over there, but maybe some receivers or whatever. But, you know, send them over to the Rams might be a power move. The 49ers got a quarterback opening, you know, and they really accumulated, you know, some really good defensive players over the years. So maybe, you know, Kyle Shanahan can make some jump and they can trade some draft capital this year and next year to bring in Watson. You put Watson on that team with them running backs and Morstead and Jeff Wilson, you know, and with those receivers, I think 49ers and Nick Bosa getting healthy and they bring in whatever guys like Sherman back. I think in a situation, San Francisco is probably the ideal place for Deshaun Watson. I really do think San Francisco is the spot because you can put him right in that team. That team is the Super Bowl caliber. Make sure. Don't forget they're going to get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo this year too because they don't own no more guaranteed money. Look at the AFC. Pittsburgh, they could be done with Ben Roethlisberger, but they traded so much draft capital over the years. I don't think that's a good spot. Cleveland, they could be saying we done with Baker Mayfield. Let's get an upgrade. Saying Baker and maybe Kareem Hunt or some picks over there for Deshaun Watson. I think Cleveland is a really good place for him as well too. Cincinnati already got a quarterback. Indianapolis is another spot. You know, Indianapolis is a great spot because Phillip Rivers might not be coming back. You got Jacoby Brissett to send over there, maybe some picks. Tennessee, why not upgrade? You saying Ryan Tannehill over there for Watson and get him with Derrick Henry. Could work. Like I said, Jacksonville, that's a good spot. Miami, that's a good spot. New England ain't got much. That ought to be a backwards move for him. He don't even like New England people. Buffalo, what if Josh Allen can't get past them? Josh Allen for Watson and Buffalo can send a little bit more. We got the Bills, Patriots, the Jets. We already talked about them. The Raiders, they can use an upgraded quarterback. They got Derek Carr and Mariota to send. And they probably got some picks. The Raiders would be a good spot for them. Chargers got a quarterback. Chiefs got a quarterback. Denver, yeah, that'd be a good place for him in Denver. So I think the best pick is San Francisco, but I think Minnesota, Denver, Jacksonville, the Jets would be places to think about. I think San Francisco is the best pick for him, or the LA Rams, best pick for him. the San Francisco Rams, and Miami Dolphins. So let me know what you guys think. Where should Deshaun Watson go if they were to trade him? Let me know what you guys think. Don't forget to check out our NFL playlist for more videos like this. Don't forget me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can reach out anytime if you have a business question, query, sponsor, video request, all my social media links in the description. Don't forget the Facebook group. Want to make a financial donation? Cash App CJ Good 313. That's in the description. PayPal in the description. Appreciate it. One time for the one time. We got